Good evening. My name is Tilly Wu, EOPS counselor, and it is my privilege to introduce to you our student speaker for the evening. As reflected on your program, our student speaker for this event, Stephanie Bowie, had emergency last night and is not able to attend tonight. Unfortunately, I was looking forward to her empowering speech, but that may need to wait. In EOPS, we always make do with what we have, and we rise to the occasion. You know that, right, EOPS students? Last evening, we found an amazing EOPS student who will stand in for Stephanie. He's perfect for this evening, and his words of inspiration and wisdom will wow you, I'm sure. He has always been there to support EOPS, and he has been an advocate on our behalf in many ways. He has served as a panelist for many of our EOPS student events, and he has presented at our foundation board to support our program. He currently works 2 jobs, many of you know about that. One being at the TLC and Pass the Torch as a tutor, and the other at In and Out being an associate. I have just found out that he's a finalist for 8 different scholarships at Foothill College, while being a National Science Foundation scholar. That truly speaks volume. He's majoring in computer and science and intends to pursue graduate school. He looks forward to becoming a future educator so that one day I can call him Professor Henry Fan. I look forward to that very much so. You are indeed a success story, and we are so proud of you, Henry. Without further ado, please welcome Henry Fan.
Wow, that was, I don't even know if my best friend knows those things about me. It's gonna be hard to follow those vocals, but as you guys know, this was last minute, and I really hope that the words that I share today can resonate with some of your guys' lives.
You can pull it out.
That's okay, that's okay, that's okay. What does it mean to graduate from a community college as a student of the Extended Opportunities Programs and Services? For me, it means all the years I spent up growing alone when my parents were in China developed my adversity to continue my education while finding my identity. Growing alone meant I spent the vast majority of my life with a child care provider who didn't speak a word of English. It means all the battle scars we have and all the weight that we carry will be worth the greater good. Ever since I was young, I rarely saw my family. I've never even met the majority of my family. But now I'm here encouraging you all to be the best you can be. I mean, we all could have been doing something else, right? But we chose to be here today to continue the path of higher education. We are the leaders of our lives and the leaders of tomorrow. When I thought of leadership when I was younger, I thought of presidents, CEOs, lawyers, doctors. But actually, now that I've experienced some of those people in my life, I know I have been graced by more enriching leaders on this very campus. Many people here in the EOPS community embody leadership through genuine collaboration while being respectful and paying attention to what's going on with us. These are my most treasured connections and moments in my life. Some of my favorite memories here as a student have been tutoring. To be able to help students who can barely write a sentence to progress to writing an essay and then progress to writing a cover letter and getting a job from that experience has been so enriching. I have heard words that my superiors would say, such as, if I can do it, you can do it better. Discipline sets you free. Don't shackle yourself with your struggles and emotions. We are all struggling, but we can do it. Perhaps it's speaking up for ourselves or standing up for others. Just the fact that we are in this safe space to do this means we are quite privileged. Oftentimes, my classmates tell me school is too hard. I'd like to remind them that my grandfather had to carry stones for over 30 years of his life. We carry textbooks and pencils. This is what I mean by privilege. I will never forget this segment by my mentor, Jeff Anderson, during engineering class. It was in preparation for our exam, where he knew that many of his students were succeeding and many of his students were quite behind. He said, "If you get an A on my exam while celebrating your own victory, do you know what that's called? That's called being a good engineer. Do you know what happens when you sponsor a fellow classmate and help them on that journey to achieve a greater learning outcome? That's a great engineer." Ever since that day, I really wanted to be a scholar by learning the material to not only help myself, but to be able to help others. We don't have to be building the next iPhone or airplane to make an impact. We get the opportunity to make an impact each and every moment in our lives by taking care of ourselves and then taking care of others. College not only gives us an environment to be rewarded when we serve, but it is a space where we can all be leaders. If community service is something we do to give back to the community without pay, every time we step foot onto a college campus or interact with a human being, we are doing community service. There are moments where Tilly would ask whether or not I can be a panelist, and I'm like, yeah, I'd love to, because I've struggled so much, and just to help students struggle a bit less is the most rewarding thing. It means we are taking responsibility for our lives and our community. Why is this moment significant in our lives? It's significant because education is something no one can take away from us. I know that there are people who don't quite understand the depth of that message, including myself at this moment, but I trust if we continue to look ourselves in the mirror and say, life isn't about finding yourself, life is about creating yourself, we will all understand one day. Pre-calculus, physics, art, design, computer science, English, these are some of the classes I have failed and withdrew from during my time here. Not necessarily failed with an F or withdrew with a W, but failed in the sense of not learning nearly as much as I could have learned if I were to have taken my learning processes more seriously. I doubted myself and questioned whether or not college was for me. I graduated from Gunn High School in Palo Alto in 2010. I worked for 6 years in the service industry. Part of that reason I worked in service is that I spent a lot of my time growing up independently. I know the pain people feel when they are not acknowledged. But we learn who we are in practice, not in theory. For me, it was servicing customers and coworkers the best I can because they acknowledged my work and gave me an identity. That was my way of seeking validation after spending so much of my childhood growing up alone. But after my time here at Foothill, I realized the definition of service far surpasses how much we tip our restaurant staff and how much we tip our Starbucks staff when they make our drinks. We are being served each and every day when we are on this campus by professors, counselors, peers, tutors, faculty, non-faculty, support staff. We're pretty lucky. Service leadership extends to our everyday lives from our home to our schools. And particularly as students, let's make the most out of our education by thinking of serving the people on this world, including ourselves, to the best of our ability. Events change in life much more than we can plan for, so let's prepare ourselves by first being students of life. To all my supporters here today, countless are your deeds of love, countless are the cares you've shown. You are all the reason I have found a voice in my life. I appreciate each and every one of you. As a future educator, it's not for those who cannot teach, it's for those who can, we serve. Let's leave every place we encounter in life better than we found it. For me, it's creating a video project that I'm working on this quarter to document student struggles and publishing that for students and everyone involved in this campus. But for you, it could be something else. Thank you.